Hey guys, Arcade Geek here. So the time has finally come. I've been getting a lot of requests over the last, I think it's been 4 months now since we started this project. Began with 109 games in all, and 100 additional boards, piles of artwork, just a whole room full of parts, you name it. So we have got about 45 days or so left that we're going to devote to this project, and we've sold, I think, around 55 or so of the 109 games, and I think we've only actually got 60 or 61 that have ever been listed. So the video today is going to essentially be putting another 40 or so games out for sale. We're going to sell them as is, so some of these things I'm going to explain what I know on the game. There's going to be a lot that we never even got around to look at. So heck of a deal out here. Could be simple 10-minute fixes. Could be a little more than that. So I'm going to go through everything that we've got and put a price tag on it, and then I'm going to, as soon as this goes live, I'm going to post onto Clav and have all the prices there as well. So you might see these games on eBay, you might see them on Clav, definitely we'll see them on local Craigslist. But let's kind of go through and just sort of chat about everything, starting here with the Operation Wolf. So we have two. The one on the left now is fully functional, works great, looks great, and very nice monitor, clear picture. That one is $250. The one on the right, great monitor. The gun is not registering. We have spent zero time trying to fix the gun. So all we've done is plug them in. We got them both working, but we have not spent any time on the right gun. So on the right gun one is $150. So save $100 for the one on the right, and you could pick up a $10 part on eBay for all I know. We just haven't spent any time on it. So anyway, and if you want them both, I don't know, 300, 350, let's work out a deal. So two great games, classic shooters, one on the left fully functional. You could make the best of the two and sell off the parts and make your money back. Either way, it works for us. But so that's the price on that. Pole position here. So this one is working. The cabinet's in pretty good condition as well. As you can see, I've not cleaned it up. And some of the things like the plastic, where generally you have a ton of cigarette butts and whatnot, you just don't have that on this one. So spend a little time cleaning it up with some simple green and whatnot. It would be a great machine. But the monitor is blowing a fuse, so that's as far as we've gotten on it. The game plays, the boards has no issue. We pulled a board from a working machine and put it in there. The boards themselves are usually $175, like Clav price, higher, going on eBay. But anyway, so this machine is $500, and again, the only thing that it's doing right now is it's blowing a fuse, and we don't know why, and have not spent enough time to try and even begin to diagnose it. So if you want any more photos, anything of what you're about to see, just let me know. I'm happy to take photos, send them over. Again, I'll be posting this to Clav, so there should be some more photos available there. But I've got notes in my hand here, so I'll be referencing them as I'm walking around. But so $500 on that one. Pango here is sold. We're just waiting on that to be picked up. The baby pack. So we've probably spent maybe a half hour to an hour on this total. Initially, it was failing the self-test. We've now got it to the point where it's passing the self-test. So it is booting, but it's not playing. So baby packs are obviously tough to find. The cabinet here is in pretty good condition. We do have some additional spare parts for it as well. I've got another play field. We've got a control panel overlay that I'll include in it, but we don't know what it's going to take. So we've got the second play field you'll see is over on the far side, and some other artwork and whatnot, but you get it all. And this one is $600. So again, half hour, maybe an hour into this one total, which is nothing in the world of a baby Pac-Man. You just a lot of components here, obviously, because it's half pinball, half video game. So an amazing deal for somebody. This pole position is working 100%, no issues at all. Cab not in bad shape. A little bit on the artwork on the side, but these things are easily fixed if you want. Monitor looks good, plays great, no issues. And that one also is $500. So both the pole positions are $500 each. One's a little better condition, has the monitor issue. This one plays without issue, not at quite as good a condition. The NFL Blitz 2000 NBA Showtime, so the sports station. So this one had, as I've mentioned before, a little bit of wiring. Just the wiring doesn't look good. So the game kind of works. The monitor is really good, but the wiring is just, it's got some issues in there. So it's going to take some ground up work. This could be a great part out for somebody as well if you just wanted the control panel and, monitor and whatever, take what you want out of it. But the entire unit as it sits right now is $300. Discs of Tron. So, you know, I'm still debating on this. I've got some people coming out today to look at it. I'm not sure if they're going to take it or not, but game works great, no issues. It just needs the restore. So I have a control panel overlay for it, which will include probably, I think, some black lights that needed to be replaced in there. That's one of, there's just a little small things, but the game is fully functional. The cabinet, I think, is pretty good. You know, the artwork on the side you can get new if you want this old game. It really is just the sort of hole on the left side and a little bit of the tearing of the artwork on the bottom that's what needs to be done. And I think this old game has it in stock, unusually, because a lot of their Tron stuff is out of stock. But you could patch the hole, put a new piece of side art on it. I think $200 is what they charge for brand new side art, and it's really high quality. So a good option if you wanted to do a mini restore on it. But the game is functional as it sits. I'm not sure exactly on the price yet, but we've had some offers in the past of $3,500. I'm reaching out to those people today to see if they're still interested. The group that's coming out today also got that $3,500 price. A lot of these have sold over $4,000 lately, so I think our price is right, considering you get the control panel overlay and a lot of other parts of it, but the game is fully functional. Tapper is not for sale. We're going to keep that one. Corey's taking that home. Gauntlet 2, so it's got some screen burn on it, but you know the condition of the cabinet, I know it's tough to see with this GoPro here, but it's pretty nice. It had a piece of carpet that somebody attached to the bottom of it at some point, and fortunately that kind of protected it, so the bottom isn't all chewed up. You know, it's got the burn in the monitor, but when you turn it on, it's very bright. It's a great looking monitor. The control panel needed to be rewired, which we did that, and the controls are working better, but there's still, I think the wiring from the control panel harness down to the board is where the issue is. So we had an offer of $1,000 on it if we can get working, and this is one that we'll still be working on over the next 40 days, but if somebody wants to sort of take it as is, $750 is the offer. So for $750 you can pay somebody $100 to build you a completely new wiring harness for it, and you got a great Gauntlet too, in nice condition. Let's see, the Arkanoid. So the Arkanoid, the game's working and the monitor looks much better. It has that beautiful noise. But it's a great Taito cab. This is still one that I'm considering making my multi-Taito, so you'll see the bubble we'll get to here in a little bit, but $150 as it sits. So board is working, monitor works, the controls are iffy. You know, there's going to need to be some work to do there, but you know, you get the bezel, you get the marquee, you get the control panel, you know, in a cabinet that can certainly is very worthy of being, you know, as a restore. So $150, kind of giving it away. Empty cabinet sell for that. Sinistar is sold. Waiting on that to be picked up. So final lap 3 here. The condition of the cabinet and everything is really nice, and it's a beautiful game, nice big monitor. The game turns on, but we can't get the pedal to register. And I think Corey said he spent probably 15 minutes on this since we've owned it. So there's something going on with it. But for a nice, really good condition, clean cabinet, final lap 3, fun driving game. It doesn't have a huge footprint like some can, so I think we've got it at $300, which I think is a heck of a deal. You know, pull the monitor and sell it for half that. So anyway, that is that. Asteroids. So this one is unfortunately one we never got to. We have not even looked at it. So we know that the monitor chassis is missing, which is one of the things that we knew we needed to do before we could even really start to look at it. But you'll get a complete game, Asteroids. I think it's in great condition. You know, the panel has got a, you know, little dents and whatever. I mean, come on, it's a 70s arcade game, so it's not perfect, but it's you know, not a ton of cigarette burns and those things you should normally see. And we've got this priced at $300. So again, get monitor chassis, G07. You can what I'm saying, G07. Sorry, monitor chassis you can pick up, and I don't know, $150, $100 or whatever. And so for $400, you've got a great working Asteroids. I can't imagine that there's any other issues with it, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Battlezone. So this is the more uncommon flat front. It doesn't have the periscope on it. The game is going to be sold complete, but the power supply needed to be reworked, and we just never did it. So you're going to have to start with you know, cap kit, rebuilding the power supply, and then go from there. But the cabinet, it's got the step, it's got the controls, you know, the buttons are original, like the coin door is in pretty good condition. The front plexi is hard to tell, I'm sure, with the video, but it's clean. But you'll have a complete Battlezone game. You're just going to need to do the work to figure out what's up with it. So start with the power supply. But this battle zone is 300, which, I mean, geez, that's an absurd giveaway. So that I expect will go quickly. This Bubble Bobble is one I picked up on Craigslist. The game plays fine, but it obviously needs to be cleaned. It's very dirty. And you've got the marquee, you've got the bezel, control panel, the wiring harness, the game board, which it's not a one of the sort of generic knockoffs. It's an original. I think I'm going to put the kit itself without the cabinet on eBay for $500. So if you're interested in it, it's a $300 board all day, and then you're paying $200 for the harness and the wiring and all the artwork, and I'll give you the control panel and basically just strip it out. So cabinet's got a few issues on it. I'm just not really into this one, I think, for restoring. I think I'm going to maybe do the Arcanide one for my multi-Taito. So anyway, $500. You can have the whole thing, or you can just take the parts if you want to mail them. It's up to you. Daytona, USA. So here's what's up with these. We've got 2 full sets of boards inside. I mentioned in one of the first videos, it took us probably an hour just to get inside the damn things. So we've got them open. You can have everything that you see here in front. There is a steering wheel. There's some new parts in that box down there for the one on the right. No idea what condition. We plugged it in. The red lights came on the boards, but nothing started, and we spent no time on it. So I think we have this listed at $400 for everything that's there. So the boards if the boards work, you could stick them on eBay and make $600. I mean, the boards sell all day long out there. It's got a bunch of boards down there. You've got tons of things you can part out. That header you could plug into a wall for a race fan and have a nice cool light up marquee for a home bar. I mean, there's a lot of cool parts in there. But anyway, $400 for everything. You get both. The Street Fighter II, it's in the red Z-back. The game works fine, no issues there. The monitor was a little washed out, but it's the Z-back cab, you can't really see. And that's as far as we got. We never really worked on it. So the monitor probably needs to be rejuved, maybe a cap kit. There's a lot of things that you could do there. But the cabinet itself, it has some water damage, so I'd sand it, put some wood hardener on it. But it's definitely in a demand cab, and the game is, in my opinion at least, my favorite of the series. So we have this one listed at $400 for everything. I think the game board is a $200 board, so that's a heck of a deal. The captain's chair. So I really wanted this to be a cool restore project in video, and it still might be, depending. I think the offers that we've had so far, $12.50 was like sort of a sight unseen. They don't care. The game is complete. It's just missing the rear plexiglass. So I've put it at $1,500. I haven't reached out to all the people that talked to me about this game. So after this video and after I get the post to Clav, I'm going to be responding to all the PMs. I've got probably 100 PMs over the last 3 months of people wanting parts and things and games and when are you going to price this and that. And so this is one of those items there's been a lot of interest in. But we're going to price it at $1,500. It's a complete game. Again, missing the plexi. But you get it all. I mean, the manual's even in there. So we've spent 0 time on this. We plugged it in, that's it. Didn't work. Beyond that, haven't looked at it. Discitron. This one kind of kills me a little bit. We have all the pieces. So the back is off of it. You can see that it's been cut, obviously. The game is fully functional, but the decision is really yours. Do you want to sort of make it as a cut Discitron or environmental and have all the cool speech boards and all the sound and thing that comes with the game that you don't normally see? Or do you want to restore the whole thing, which is what I would do personally. So I think what we're going to do, the last 2 that have sold on this have been $7,500 a piece. Obviously those were complete games. This one needs some work, but the game itself is functioning. So I think what we're going to do is price it at $4,000 as it sits. So if you're handy with woodwork at all, this is not that challenging. It's just going to take time, and unfortunately at this point we don't have that time. So the artwork that's missing off of the back is in the other room. So you'll have the marquee, you'll have the back glass, the bulbs. You get everything. It's a complete game. We even have some new artwork for it, a new control panel overlay, which we'll give you. I think there might even be a new marquee on this one, a reproduction, one of those nice lenticular ones that you saw me talk about in some of the prior videos. So whatever we have, we will give, but it's $4,000, and you've got a couple different options. I hope somebody takes it and puts it back together. Quite honestly, it looks worse than it really is. I think that anybody with half a skill in woodwork could get this thing put back together, and that's what I would recommend. So $4,000. This thing was kind of cool. I found it on Craigslist actually today. So it's a Asteroids Deluxe cocktail. It's an Irish one, I guess. I hadn't seen one of these before. I literally just unloaded this 5 minutes ago and didn't look at it. So it says Atari Ireland on the side, Asteroids Deluxe cocktail. in good condition. The guy had it for 10 years in his house, so you can see the overlays and everything look really sharp. The issue with it right now is that it boots up and plays for about 5 minutes and then starts making some beeping noises and then turns off. So that's where I'm at with that. So that one game will be coming up for sale, but it's not quite ready for now. I'm not really interested in kind of dumping as a project. I think it'd be a relatively easy fix. So I just thought that was cool and thought I'd mention it in the video. I don't see too many Irish anything games here in Texas. Okay, let's keep going. Going into here. So the Joust cocktail, I put it on eBay probably a month and a half ago for $1,500 or best offer. I've had a couple offers for $1,100, and when I reached out to both to try to work out a deal outside of eBay, I didn't hear back from them. I just wasn't at $1,100. I wasn't at the time interested in paying all of the eBay fees. So anyway, what we're going to do just to move it is going to sell it for $1,000. That's straight up cloth cash price. It's in amazing condition. There are, what I've seen, multiple sources mentioned about 500 of these things in existence. I was at Fun Spot at the sort of John's Arcade Impossible Outsiders Bro Fest this last week. So hi to everybody that I met. And they had one at Fun Spot, and theirs wasn't working. So it's just one of those games that's it's rare to see, and even harder to keep these things working. And this one looks beautiful. So $1,000, very rare cocktail. You can see it's kind of a side by side, which I think is pretty cool because it doesn't take up a bunch of space in your arcade. Anyway, so there's that. Jumping over here, the Street Fighter 2. This monitor really needs some work. It's really all kind of washed out and a little blurry, and we haven't spent a ton of time on it. The board works. I don't think there were any issues or anything with it. But, sorry, I'm scanning my notes here. We have it at 200. So you get the cool cabinet. Cabinet needs a little work, just going to touch up here, touch up there, but it's got the bezel, marquee, and control panel and everything else, and you'll have a working board. So 200 for that. The Omega Race, you can see that we have a part. This is one we actually did try to we spent a fair amount of time working on. Let me get around the front. This is a bad angle. And could not get it to work. So the issues with it are this. The board will boot, and most of the game renders. You can control everything. It's just not all of the graphics are showing up. So the cabinet, as you can see, is just beautiful. The bezel is down there. It's still wrapped up. It's in an excellent condition. We have 3 of the main boards and 2 of the smaller boards, so you'll get the whole lot of what we've got. So you've got a monitor that's going to need some work for sure. We don't know what the issue is. We pulled our Asteroids Deluxe monitor and stuck it in there so we could get it to the point where we wanted to make sure if the board was working. We've since put that monitor back, so you won't get the Asteroids Deluxe monitor, but you will get the monitor that goes in the Omega Race. All the artwork, everything else. I know this says sold, but it is not. Anyway, for 400, so you get it all. I think I had a couple people that offered me around that, even as it is, so I think I'm going to reach out to them. So it may be sold by the time this video actually goes live. I'm going to be making a bunch of calls here today, but that's it. So you get everything, complete game, 400, but the artwork and everything on the exterior is amazing looking. It's just the boards aren't fully functional, and we'll give you all the spare boards we've got. We didn't spend a ton of time on it. We probably spent maybe 3 or 4 hours on it, just in playing around with the boards, but we don't know anything about boards. So if you're a board guy, it could be easy. Who knows? I know these are tough games to keep running. We'll give you all the parts and maybe you can make it. Next, Kangaroo. So Kangaroo is, it's a little beat up. I mean, the bezel looks really good. We don't have a marquee. You get the control panel, which is populated. That's on top. There's no game board in there either. So it's a project. So you'll need a game board and you'll need a marquee. And this one we have listed at 200. So I don't know if that bezel honestly was ever used. You can see the sticker that's still on it. This was picked up in a lot, and I don't know whether it was something they pulled out of a game. It was in amazing condition, looks really great. Same with the control panel. The overlay looks phenomenal. So you get all of it for 200. This battle zone, so you will get a full game here, but you won't get a board. We don't have a board for this one. So this battle zone is just going to be essentially, as you see, it's got the control panel, it's got the step, everything. You won't have a game board, and it's 200. So that's, again, a big steal. So, okay, so the Star Wars, we can kind of talk about these. I've got some spare shrouds. I'm going to stick those on eBay. I don't have those priced yet. I haven't looked lately. This one's kind of a project game. We probably have some parts to make it, not complete. We don't have a game board for this one, unfortunately. The seller really went dark on us with these a few items that we missed from the day that we picked up the sale. I know this is wrapped and tough to see, but probably going to be $750 on it. It's going to be a project game. You'll need a game board, but the cabinet itself is actually in pretty good condition. It has the shroud, it has the controls, it has the wiring harnesses in there. I mean, you name it, it's in there. So probably about $750 on that one. Defender. So we did spend some time. We only had 2 sets of Defender boards, and we were never able to figure out a combination of those boards to get it to work. So it is kind of what it is. But for a Defender, average fair condition, you will get a complete game. You know boards, you could probably get this working. We don't know boards, so this is one of the, unfortunately, the games that we did spend a little time working on. We just don't have the skill set to work on game boards, and I think that that's where the issue lies with this one. Because you can hear a lot of things working, but you just couldn't get the game to come up. This one's $350. All right, moving on. Next room. So just an empty cabinet. It was a super pack. It was converted to some shooter game. I don't know what it is, but you'll get everything you see here. And it's just basically an empty cabinet. And where's my notes? Oh, $100. So for all you MAME guys or 60-1 guys or whatever, it's kind of a throw-in. $100 and it's yours. All right, Pong doubles. So this is a rare game. Again, it was a Fun Spot story. I was there. They had one. Didn't work. You couldn't actually hit the ball. Ours, the game plays. You can control the paddles, but you can't see 2 of the 4 paddles because it's a Pong doubles. So there's 4 paddles. You can play 2 players and control the 2 paddles or whatever. A little different than the normal Pong, but a very rare game. You just don't see these come up for sale at all. And we've got it at $500. So you'll have a mostly working game, 2 paddles not showing up, and it's just a rendering issue because you can accidentally hit the ball with the paddle you can't see, so it's controlling it, it's just not rendering. So that will be something that you obviously want to take a look at, but this game is a little bit of water damage, but again, it's a rare game. It's just you don't see these. So if you're in the market for one and you want to have a cool restore project, the Plexi's in pretty decent condition and the controls and things, so that one's $500. Play Choice 10, Corey's going to keep that, so that one's not for sale. The Burger Time is sold. We're still waiting on that one to be picked up. This Robotron is one that's going to my house, so I will begin that restore project, and once we're out of this sort of warehouse deal and we get the game sold, I'm going to shoot some videos of all the games that I've got for my house and all the restore projects I'm currently working on. And so definitely stay tuned, just because the warehouse thing is going to end in the next month or so, we'll definitely have hopefully some cool videos for you to see of the different games that I restore as I put them in my house. All right, so this one is the, used to be an Escape from Robot Monsters. At some point it was converted to a WWF Superstar. It's got a JAMA harness inside and a pretty new power supply as well. The game, of course, was cut in half, so really it's an LCD cabinet for sure, but you can make a pretty cool home arcade game out of it. And so I don't know, $100 because it has all the harness and all of the power supply that's basically new, and the marquee and the speaker. I mean, it's got a bunch of stuff in there, coin doors, so $100. Mr. Do, conversion cab at some point. I don't know what it used to be. It's got the Willis Pac-Man CPO on it, but it's a nice Mr. Do, plays great. This one's $250. So get some artwork, whatever you want to do. But Mr. Do is a fun game. I don't know why it doesn't get all this love. Circus. So Circus is a rare Exidy game. I don't know if it's rare. I think it's rare, but let's just say it's rare. It's an uncommon game for sure, and I think it's a pretty cool game. This one was when we plugged in, power supply was testing bad. That's all we ever did on it. So cool Circus project, cab's in pretty good condition. Control panel, everything is there. The bezel's in great condition. This one is $300. So $300 for a Circus project. The Blitz 99. So this is the one, if you've been following the series, that I slid the game out to double check the monitor for somebody, and the controls that are sitting on top fell down, clocked me in the head, and then bounced and knocked the neck off the tube, broke it. So the game was working great before, it's just the cabinet was ugly. So if you're wanting a kit for Blitz 99, great. If you want to buy the whole thing, great, but it's $200. Everything you see there, a fully populated control panel. The tube is broken, but the monitor on the tube worked great. I think it was a Wells Gardner, something or other I have to look at to see what it was. You can have, even the Nintendo 64 card slots. You'll get the harness, you'll get the coin door, whatever parts. If you want the monitor, you can have the monitor. and the game board itself. So fully working Blitz 99, other than the tube. $200. So the Wurlitzer, these are going to go to eBay. The amplifier on the right is missing. We never did get it, and the seller never did contact us. We're still going to keep trying. So for the parts on top, about $1,800 in brand new parts for it, and then you've got it. We plugged it in just out of curiosity, and some of the lights came on, and some things spun around and whatever. So it's probably working outside of the amplifier and some whatever work you need to do to it to install the new parts. But we're going to put it for $3,000. Which sounds high, but I think that's a heck of a deal. And we'll keep working on the amplifier, and that'll be included if at some point we get it. This Sonata here is a $1,000 jukebox. We spent zero time on it. I plugged it in, it lit up, things spun around, but it didn't play. But again, I don't know anything about jukeboxes. So we're going to put it at $500. If you're a juke person or know somebody that is, it's probably an easy project. The seller told us it worked, so I believe it might, but I don't know for a fact. And so you're going to save half to take it. But it's kind of a cool little retro style. I think it came out in the 70s. It plays vinyl, though, so pretty cool. The Journey is I think, sold. We're still working on the sound issue. We've done a bunch of stuff to it, and the game plays great, it looks great, no issues. It's just that sound, it's killing us. So it's still probably sold. The person has the 3 games in the lot, Paperboy, Journey, and the Donkey Kong Jr. If you're watching this, we're still working on your game. We haven't sold it yet, but if for some reason he backs out, then it will definitely go out. He got an amazing deal on it at $2,800, I think, for this game. I think the last one that just sold on Cloud or eBay was $3,600 in a full auction. So once we get the sound working, which we will, then that's a pretty good deal. Tempest, this one we've done 0 to. We plugged it in, it didn't work, so we know that we knew going in that it wasn't going to, because there were a bunch of cap kits and game board kits and things. So you'll get a complete Tempest that we've spent 0 time on. I'll go ahead and include all of the game board and power supply and monitor cap kits that were in the game when we got it for, where are we at? $400. So for $400 you get a Tempest, a complete game, which, geez, that's a steal. I expect this will be gone as quickly as I post it out into the world. I'll get to the dartboards later. Arch Rivals, so this one is a functioning game. It's in a Bally Xenophobe cab, so it's a little different. I think Arch Rivals is fun. It's the game where you beat the shit out of everybody while you're playing basketball, so that's fun. But anyway, $250, so it's yours. More dartboards I'll talk about later. So pole position, this is a pole position 2, I think, that's inside it. We've tested the game boards in the other pole positions, and they work, so you're going to get a working game board. The power supply is something wrong with it. I don't know if it needs a new one or if we just need to rebuild it or what. So you're going to get the kit itself, which is a complete game, complete everything, and a working pole position 2, I think, is the board that we have for it. And that one is, where is it? $400. So for $400 you get everything. You just got to do the work. Coming into here, so this Pac-Man is, I think the cabinet's in pretty good condition, honestly. I mean, there's obviously some marks in the paint and things, that's to be expected, but the bezel looks pretty good, the marquee is there, and the monitor's been pulled from it. We never did get a chance to put it in there, so we'll go ahead and give you the game board that came with it. It's got the harness, it's got lights, coin mechs, everything, but you won't have a monitor or a tube in there, so you're gonna need to get one of those. We have this listed for $300, so. The 16-1 guys and the main guys, they buy these things and convert them, which is a shame, but it's probably what this one will end up being. So, unfortunately, I would expect to see this on Craigslist for $2,000, painted some ungodly style here in the next couple months, but $300. Let's see here. Galaga, we never did get the monitor working on Galaga, so it needs some monitor work. The game board that's in there is working, but we just never spent the time on it. It's pretty decent condition. It's got the chunk missing out of the front, but outside of that, I mean, it's pretty sharp. The control panel's good, the artwork is good, but we've got it at $600. So, that's a pretty good deal on a Galaga. That's probably more going to be a Craigslist sale than the claw sale, but anyway, there it is. Popeye, we finished this one and then never did get it out for sale. So, game works great, looks great. Probably needs some new side art, but the rest of it's pretty decent. And so we've got it at $500. Let's see, the DK. This is probably one we'll finish up. The coin mechs are on top. The game board, we need to cap the monitor as a first place. It was playing blind. We've got working board sets for Donkey Kong, so We've got somebody that said, get it working, I'll give you 800, so we'll probably spend the time to get it working. If somebody wants it as is, I think I've probably got some T-molding somewhere. I took it off when I was cleaning it because we were getting ready to work on it. But we'll give you everything, complete game, and we'll make sure it's working for $600 as it sits. Asteroid Deluxe, this one is working. Just the black light needs to be replaced inside, so we're going to sell it as is for $500. But the game's functioning. The monitor, as I mentioned, we pulled it out and used it in the other, but I've played it. It's very crisp and clear. It's a nice looking monitor. It's just, a little bit of rehab on the cabinet you could do and just some minor things, but $500. The Duck Hunt, which you can't see because of all of my crap, is one that I kept talking about being a tank to try and get in, and we never did get into it. So we're going to put it at 250. I believe the game works. You can turn it on, things spin around, the lights come on, everything, but there was a piece of wood that had fallen down in it and we didn't want to damage the game. So you're going to need to find a way to get inside the dang thing. But $250 for these old games is a steal, and so anyway, there it is. This Mr. Do, this one works great, looks great. I think Frogger cabinet probably, but $300 is our new price. So, it's these prices, as I'm mentioning, where you've seen games that have been coming out, been for sale for a while. We've been really firm on our pricing. I think this one was on Craigslist for $500 for the last month. So not pushing it daily, but pushing it, once a week, we'll bump the ad up. So we're going to start, like I said, fire sailing these items. So these prices I'm quoting are kind of giving it away, and we expect that we'll have a ton of local action here as we put it out to Craigslist as well. So. Okay, so the dartboards, when we first did the dartboards, I had an offer of $800 as it was for all 5, and I reached out to the guy, a month later when we were finally able to get them dug out of the hole, and I never heard back from him. So we stuck it on Craigslist for $800 for sort of just a lot of 5 dartboards that all maybe need something, some work, some don't. We haven't spent any time on any of them. So you're going to get 5 of these. They're essentially identical other than the one on the right. For $600. So we're going to stick it to Craigslist, and but anyway, if anybody needs a bunch of dartboards, you have a bar or something like that, $600. Or if you just want one, we can plug it in and find one that works, and we can get that sold too. Stargate. So we put this one out to Craigslist for like $800 or something, which is a little high, but Stargate's a great game, and this cabinet I think is in pretty decent condition. Game plays without issue. So this one we are going to price now at $600. So I put the new control panel overlay on it. The bezel has been recently replaced as well. I took from our artwork piles the best bezel we had because it had some generic black one in there before. All right, so this Star Wars, this will be a complete game, but we've spent 0 time on it. So you'll have the controls, you'll have the monitor, the tube. We've got some 6100 chassis and rebuild kits for the HV that we're going to include. So we're going to put as much of a complete kit together on this one as possible. And for $1,200, you get the game board, you get the full everything, and so that will be a project. But that just is the world of Star Wars now. You can get $2,000 for a beat to crap one that works. So one that looks pretty good, and we'll have a bunch of new parts. A lot of those rebuild kits that I'm mentioning are going to be brand new reproductions that people put together that they bought, and just to do the work is going to take some time. So Superman here. I don't know what we're going to do on Superman. I think for $300 we'll probably give you everything. If you want the whole game, fine. If you just want the marquee, the bezel, the control panel, the wiring harness, the game board, manual, you can have it. So $300 for the whole kit, whether you want the whole game cabinet with it or not. If you're local, great. You can have it all. If not, we can certainly ship the parts that are easy to ship. But Superman can be a fun, cool game. I think it's a nice game. I wish we were able to get the monitor work done at some point. We just never did get around to it. That monitor needs cap kit at a minimum. It's got to collapse. Tron will be one of those project videos that you'll see in the future. That's coming home with me. Space Invaders. So Space Invaders is the monitor work. Something needs to be done on the monitor. The game board works great. No issues there. The cabinet needs a new foot. That's why it's kind of tilted here. I don't know if you can see it in the video. But for $300, you're going to get the project cab as it is. The game plays blind right now. That's what the issue is. We didn't get around to the monitor work, so that's what needs to be done. But $300. DK Jr., as I mentioned, is sold to the Journey and Paperboy guy, so we'll see. If I can get Journey going, then that lot definitely will sell. If not, then we'll have to see what his plans are. Spy Hunter. So we had a $1,000 offer on Spy Hunter once we got it working. We're just not going to be able to have the time to get to it, which is a shame because I do like Spy Hunter. Played a fair amount of it at Fun Spot last weekend. But you get you'll get the game board, you'll have the monitor, We've got new artwork for the side up top. We've got some control panel parts. I've got like 5 control panels for it, so we'll give you a couple of those so you can get a kit put together. There's a game board inside it. We've got 2 spare boards down here, so we'll get a working board set to you as well. So for $700, you're going to have a complete kit. There's probably going to still need to be some work that needs to be done, but you're getting a ton of brand new parts. There's some Spy Hunter parts for reproductions as well, artwork, the cabinet, game board, you name it. And the control panels, as I mentioned, they've got like 5 of them. So these control panels for Dragon Slayer and Star Trek will be going out to Clav as well, so I'll just throw them in the video just so you can see them. This video here today isn't really going to be about parts very much. I will sort of just generally talk through what the situation with the parts is right now. So I have posts ready to go out to Clav and for the parts, and I'm sorry, let me back up here. The boards. So boards. We spent a little bit of time yesterday finally getting around and testing some of the boards of the ones that we could. So we have a JAMA cabinet, so JAMA boards, those were easy enough to test. So I've broken these out into piles. So you've got one pile here and then some other piles elsewhere. There's one over in the corner there. So this is the pile of boards that are completely untested. We have no way to test them. We don't own the games. We don't have the connectors. So there are a ton. So when people, I know people on eBay say, oh, untested, and that's bullshit because they've plugged the board in, they know it doesn't work, and they're just selling on eBay as untested. So for us, it's going to literally be untested. Untested is untested. You just have to trust me on it. These may work, they may not work. We don't know. But that is the untested pile. So those boards will be coming up for sale on Clav probably today or tomorrow. This is the pile of the boards we were actually able to test, and we know they work. So those will be listed as working. So plugged it in, game came on, sound worked, yada yada. And then the pile here, this little small pile, are the ones that we actually tested and didn't work. So there's some Galagas in there, there's a bunch of Dig Dugs, there's just various stuff that we did try out. So when I say not working, it means it immediately didn't work when I plugged it in. So if you're a board guy or you just push hard on some chips and reseat them, I mean, it literally could be that easy. We just aren't spending the time on it. So we're just going to kind of price them right, and you'll be rolling the dice a little bit, but even if it doesn't work, you can spend the money to get it working, and you'll still probably be positive on the deal overall. So anyway, there's that, and then I did go ahead and shoot photos of all of the artwork. So we've got all of these bezels that are in the piles down here, and the tub down there is full of marquees and side art and everything else. And then other cool things that will be coming out, like the Star Wars. It's a brand new, including the cut overlay here for the yoke. Excuse me. So that'll be going to eBay, unless that's a Clav guy that wants it. But these things, I think when they were new, sold for $400, and you can't even get them anymore. So probably in the $600 range for the brand new yoke. But anyway, that's kind of the video today. It's unfortunate because I love doing this stuff, and I just wish that I didn't have a full-time job. If I was independently wealthy, I'd sit in here and play games and work on the arcade games all day, every day. But it is what it is. You got to work, right? So a lot of these projects we really wanted to get to over the last 3-4 months, I just aren't going to be able to get to it. So we're going to take the next 45 days, put everything else out for sale. Now, the prices I quoted today are for today. So we are going to still be coming out here 1 to 2 days a week and working on games. This is stuff that we love to do. So some of these that are listed as projects will probably work over the next 45 days. So if you're wanting to buy a project, or you want to buy a game as it sits now because we've priced it right to move it, great. But if you kind of maybe hang around and maybe think about it, and maybe next week, maybe next month, whatever, we might get it working, and when it does, obviously that means the price is going to go up. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and I appreciate you guys watching these videos. This has been a lot of fun. For those that have watched the first video, you know how empty this place is today compared to what it used to be. It still seems like there's a ton of games, but this used to be literally wall to wall of games in every square inch of this joint. So like I said, we've moved about 50 or so out of here already, and we've got another, I think, 7 that are already bought and paid for that are still in here that just need to be picked up. And then whatever happens today with the guys that are coming in that are interested in maybe buying several, they're coming from out of town and they're buying some games from other sellers, and so they're swinging by here on their way out. So we'll see. But anyway, so future videos definitely still coming as I'll update these on new prices, or if we get something working, or as we get around to these restore projects. Like I said, I'm still not 100% sold that I really want to sell these Trons, the discs of Trons. I think I want to maybe take one and work on it. Maybe do the upright one, just because that's probably the only space I'll have in my house. And then maybe some of these other things. So, oh, you know what? I didn't mention this Pac-Man Plus. I don't have the pricing in front, but it needs a little bit of work. But I think we had it like $300. So, all right. Anyway, so I'm rambling on here. Anyway, that's it for today. So look for the Arcade Geek is my name on Clav. Send me a PM there. You can always reply to the YouTube post, and I will definitely I look at all of them. So for those of you that may have sent me a PM over the last couple months and I haven't gotten back to you because I haven't got to that port of whatever lot it is that we have here, I will definitely be reaching out to you in the next week or so. So expect to hear from me. And if for some reason you don't, then definitely let me know. Shoot me another PM so I can get back to you. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.